Hi everyone, this is the video that goes with the informational presentation assignment. I wanted to give you a little bit more information or detail about how to approach this. So take a look at the actual assignment on Canvas. It's got information about the purpose and the audience and the format. The gist of it is that you have 10 to 12 minutes to inform us about a technical topic. So you might choose to make this an informational presentation where you're teaching us about what you do in your research. Your peers are an audience of other engineering graduate students, but in different disciplines. So you might find yourself really kind of speaking to two audiences here, people in your discipline, but also people in other disciplines. You know they're interested in science and technology, but they may not be knowledgeable about what you do. So it is a little bit more of a general audience than just people in your field. So this would be a good opportunity to teach us something about your research. You might consider, especially if teaching is one of your goals, whether as a graduate student or moving forward in academia, if you hope to teach, you might consider teaching a lesson on a scientific concept or a concept that's maybe more basic in your field. And that would be a really neat way to inform us of something as well. So you could teach a concept related to your research. You could teach maybe an adjacent concept, or if you'd like to, you can pick something entirely different. There should be some element of technical to it. So that is maybe a data-driven element, maybe an element of science or technology behind it. But there are many disciplines and many things that you might be interested in that don't have much to do with engineering. I've had people do presentations and papers on technical topics that range from economics to various social sciences, things having to do with the technique involved in a sport, or the scoring systems, data regarding sports. So sports, social sciences. I've had students who are really interested in electronic voting machines or voting trends among Americans. So there are lots of different ways that you can approach this. And while what you do in graduate school and your field is a likely place, a pretty useful place to start, if you're feeling a little bit frazzled and like you have spent enough time with your research all week over week over week, and you want to take this opportunity to teach us something entirely different, that would be lovely. So really either is fine. These presentations are going to be in class, live on Zoom, on Monday the 9th and Wednesday the 11th. And what I'll do is either during class or right after class, one day soon, I'll send out a sign up so you can sign up for either the Monday or the Wednesday. Think about which one works better in your schedule. I will mention that the Monday presentations, because they're first, I expect that the Wednesday presentations will be maybe even a little more well prepared or a little bit more polished. So if you go Monday, on the one hand, you have to go earlier, you don't get as much time as your peers who are going on Wednesday, but on the other hand, you get a little extra leniency because of that. So it's a pretty reasonable trade-off, and I really think just pick whichever day falls nicely in your schedule and shoot for that day. Your 10 to 12 minutes does not include time for questions. So you can invite questions at the end of it, and then we'll have time after that for your peers to ask you questions and to engage with any discussion questions you've given them or anything like that. And you can include any amount of audience interaction that you want in your presentation. So if you decide, I'd like to teach this more like a class, I want to put people in breakout rooms in pairs for a couple minutes to discuss something and come back. Or I want to poll the audience about something. You can use Zoom polls. if you have another interactive idea, like using some sort of software like Kahoot or something like that, you're absolutely welcome to do that to make the presentation engaging for your audience. But you certainly don't have to. This presentation can be very engaging, informational, without any tricks or bells and whistles. So it is entirely up to you how you approach it. And I know that level of freedom sometimes is frustrating. You might be like, just tell us what to do. But you have your choice of topic. You have your choice of how you decide to bring this to us. Most of you, possibly all of you, will choose to use PowerPoint or something like it. If you are using PowerPoint, make sure to review the information on assertion evidence slide design, which we are going to be looking at next week. As you put this together, it's going to be really helpful to be able to create slides that are powerful, that are minimal on the text, and have a lot of very useful image going on. So more image heavy, less text heavy is what we're going for. But assertion evidence is a really specific format, and it is something we're going to go over in this class. If you are thinking about topics and you're stuck, I've included in the assignment a library guide from our subject librarian, Lauren Todd. She is awesome. She's great. And in fact, when you click there, you'll see her email address if you have questions for her just about any research that you're doing, secondary research. You're looking for an article from something, you're trying to find something in a database. She's a really wonderful resource. What she's put together on this library guide is at the top, there are 3 links that have basically what's going on in engineering news right now that you can explore. So if you click in there, hot topics in engineering news, the billionaire space race, the COVID vaccine, the things that you're seeing in the news anyway. So if you decide something you'd like to inform us of in this presentation is something current, something related to current events in the technology or the science space, that would be really cool too. So I've included that link there in case you're having trouble coming up with a topic. You can certainly run ideas by me. I'm more than happy to give you feedback on them. Just send me an email if you have questions. So the purpose of this is to inform. Your audience is your peers. If you would like your peers to take on a little bit of a persona, you can. So if you say, I really want to teach this as if I'm teaching a lesson to undergraduates, could you pretend you're an undergraduate student? It's not that long ago for a lot of us. We can remember what it was like to be an undergraduate. That's something where we can suspend our disbelief and play the part of undergraduate students for you. So, but otherwise, really your peers in this class who are from a variety of engineering disciplines and research interests are your audience. The format is live during class. And what should be in it? And I've included this in the assignment as well. An attention-grabbing introduction. So not just, hi, my name is, here's the title of my presentation, here's my outline. You want to find a way in that first 30 seconds or so to really grab our attention. It might be with a story. It might be with a video clip. It might be with an image that you explain. It could have some element of theatricality to it. There are lots of ways to grab your audience's attention, and we can even talk about that in class a little bit. But having a really wonderful way to grab their attention and then introduce yourself in your talk, it kind of makes everybody sit up and wake up. And so that's a great way to get started. So I would highly suggest an attention-grabbing introduction, a clear and enthusiastic and informative presentation that's really sort of focused on the audience, and a really engaging conclusion. So you don't want to just taper off and that's my presentation. Give us a really great, strong ending. Make sure to include citations, and then you should invite questions from the audience. But if you have discussion questions for the audience that you want to include, you want to ask the audience something, you can include that at the end as well, or as part of the presentation. So you do have some options there. Those are the major elements that you want in here. 10 to 12 minutes might seem like a lot. Actually, once you get into it, it's not all that much time. I have the feeling that more of you will have trouble keeping it under 12 minutes than trying to come up with 10 minutes of content. So do keep it under 12 minutes. If you don't have quite 10 minutes, that's fine. So 10 to 12 is a guideline, but 12 is a hard maximum. 10 is a soft minimum. If you have 9 minutes, that's fine. But if you find yourself at 5 minutes of content and you feel like you're done, you have the opportunity to teach us more. So really teach us more than 5 minutes worth of content here. So 10 to 12 is what you should shoot for. But if you're a little under 10, that's no big deal. 12 is a maximum though, so I'll cut you off after 12 minutes. I'll just say, okay, time to wrap it up, you're done. And that is fairly common in your life as an academic, whether you're at an academic conference where they've given you 15 minutes or 20 minutes for a presentation. Well, when your time is up, it's up. You don't get to keep going. Or whether you're in a classroom and it's a 50-minute class that you're teaching. When that 50 minutes is up, everybody's got to go. They've got to get to their next class. You got to cut this thing off. So having a hard maximum is actually a fairly practical thing that we're doing here. Let me know if you have any other questions about this assignment. It should be a really useful and interesting assignment. I think that you will find explaining what you do as an engineer in an engaging way to people who don't have that same background is something that will really help you in a lot of aspects of your life. So that's one of the reasons that this is one of the assignments. So let me know if you have questions. You know where to find me, and enjoy this assignment. Thank you.